Good afternoon, Robert Scribbler. It is July 6, 2018. Thank you for joining me for another climate change and clean energy video blog. Now, for this segment, I'm going to talk to you about a very severe wildfire in particular that is occurring in Colorado called the Spring Creek Fire, and also provide for you a bit of a summary of the present national fire situation. So presently, Colorado is experiencing its third largest fire on record, the Spring Creek Fire, which has recently grown to over 100,000 acres. And this fire has grown very rapidly, growing by as much as 8,000 acres over an 8-hour period. It has forced the evacuation of over 2,000 people and has destroyed or damaged approximately 200 homes. Thankfully, there's been no report of loss of life as of yet, and in large part due to the army of 1,000 firefighters that are on the scene attempting to control the blaze. Now, this fire has produced very large fires. Sections of the fire described as 300 feet high, and some incident managers at the scene and local authorities are describing this fire as a fire tsunami. A storm of fire, a wave of fire that's really impossible to fight, that instead officials and firefighters have simply been doing their best to evacuate people in the way of the blaze when it expanded rapidly. Now, we can say that the fire presently, after its rapid expansion phase yesterday and last night, has undergone some containment. Recent reports state that the fire is 35% contained, but it is still an issue of serious concern for local authorities. Now I'm going to show you some pictures of this fire. Recent photographs have shown some very intense smoke plumes coming out of the fire. If we can get this page to load, I'll show this. So this is what the fire looks like from a photograph taken 100 miles away in Pagosa Springs. And a recent digital globe satellite photograph showed the burn area of the fire on July 5th, which is quite intense. This photo shows burned vegetation in the upper left-hand corner of the frame and unburned vegetation in the lower right, with the fire front visible here in the orange, yellow, and red. If you're going to look at the satellite picture provided by NOAA, you can see the fire burning. Here in this photo, you see the smoke plume trailing off to the north, the ring of Hotspots, which is a signature for a large fire. Generally, large fires tend to expand out in the fire front with the hotspots in a ring pattern. And over the past day, we've seen some storms settle in, which has thankfully given firefighters a bit of a chance to contain the blaze, despite the fact that it is still very explosive. Now, the spring fire is just one of many major fires that are now burning across the West. And this is in part due to a combination of severe heat and severe drought. The West has seen record temperatures and extreme drought conditions over a number of states, and these conditions are fueling large blazes across this section of the U.S. Now, if you look at the National Interagency Fire Center, we presently are in a situation, I seem to be having some trouble getting things to load. So we're presently in a situation where 2018 overall is running about third worst on record in comparison with the recent past 10-year period. And in context, the recent past 10-year period has seen some of the most intense fire seasons and the most damaging fire seasons on record. Presently, as of July 6th, the most recent update, 2,905,383 acres have been burned, and that's a significant coverage. And as of this time, active acres from large fires is 823,600, which is a very large active number, and that large active number may start to push 2018 into the top 2 range for the last 10 years, although we are still presently behind, well, rather far behind 2011 when it comes to total acres. So just to provide you guys with a little bit of context, human-caused climate change is making western wildfires both more intense, larger, and even as human-caused climate change is extending the length of the fire season. And according to the Union of Concerned Scientists, which has produced this infographic, which I'm going to scroll through for you, the fire season out west since the 1970s has increased from 5 months to more than 7 months today. So more than half of the year now, and possibly as much as 3/4 of the year now, fire season conditions occur in the western portion of the U.S. Now, the primary driver is increasing temperatures, and a secondary driver is increasing extreme rainfall events, which causes large bursts of vegetation to grow, providing more fuel for fires. That for the vegetation grows more rapidly, but also more rapidly dries out due to increased temperature and increased drought pressure. And as human-caused climate change due to fossil fuel burning intensifies, so is the expected intensity of U.S. wildfires. So presently we're seeing very intense wildfires out west, some of the worst wildfires that we've seen, and unfortunately, due to present heat and drought conditions in the west, these extreme fire conditions are likely to continue. Thanks for joining us, and I'll be talking with you soon.